Wales and South Africa, folks, 73 points to nil. This box side just keeps breaking records. This is, I think, Wales's, it's not their worst defeat ever. It's not their worst, but it is their worst at home. 73-0. I think Rusty will almost be more happy with the nilling to keep the Welsh guys out at home. First time in a long time for that too. Than necessarily with some of the tries, because coaches love big defensive shift. He won't be happy that Ebenezer got red carded. That was pretty dumb. It's another South African lock that gets a red card. I don't think this one's going to be as controversial though, with a finger to the eye or thumb. But yeah, I think there's still mostly positives for South Africa to take out of that one, because they were relentless. We will go through some of the key events and the stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I was a little bit disappointed Dwayne didn't end up, I mean, if he'd gotten to play, it would have been someone else had been injured, because he was like 25th man. But no Dwayne Vermeulen. He was still there in his coaching capacity, but he didn't have to play. So it was the initially named squad for the Boks, which ran out. And initially it looked like, and this is not for long, but for the first few minutes, it looked like they might just be slightly off, because like Canan Moody had a line break and then air swung with his left foot as he tried to put boot to ball. Don't see that very often. And they got a free kick at the first scrum. I mean, this is all within the first, I don't know how many minutes. What was the first try? 3 minutes. So I'm kind of clutching at straws here. But for 2 minutes, it looked like South Africa might be off. But that they were not off. Second scrum got absolutely monstered, and from that territory, South Africa went 15 odd phases, and Steenekamp was able to go over for a try. Love a good prop try. 7 points to nil for the Boks. And it took a while. It took a while until the second try. 15 odd minutes. Ethan Hooker. So there is a little bit of a gap. But again, the Boks were ruthless in this game in terms of punishing errors, and they weren't really giving up much of their own. Like I'll get to the stats for halftime in a minute, but the first half, even though South Africa only scored 4 tries, they just didn't let Wales breathe in this game. Wales kicked it dead on 13 minutes. It was only just kicked dead, but it's an error, and an error is enough. That leads to a scrum. The scrum leads to advantage. That gets some wide ball, and it's just kind of draw and pass. It's draw and pass, and Ethan Hooker is able to finish that one out wide. They made it look really easy, but the best teams do make it look easy when it pays off. 14 points to nil. And then I got my head in my hands for these Welsh lads, because they're 14-0 down, and they kick the restart out on the full, which means a scrum. They don't want scrums. They don't want scrums, Wales. But to be fair, Boks got free kicked at that scrum again, so there was a little bit of a let off. And I thought maybe the highlight of the first 20 minutes from a Welsh perspective was getting like 3 kind of back-to-back moments to kind of go right, in that they had a maul defensive set which shut down an attacking maul. And then they managed to get the ball out of the resulting scrum, because they got the scrum feed from the defensive maul set where they stopped South Africa's maul, and they were able to exit clear. Like 3 jobs done. I mean, the exit clear wasn't a great kick, but it was out of, I think it was to the 22. Maul defense, check. Scrum, it was under pressure, but they got it out, check, didn't concede a penalty, and then exit check. So that's, again, I'm clutching at straws a bit to talk positives from a Welsh perspective, but that moment did go right. Not for that long. Visa got a try for the back of a scrum. The scrum was just going forward at a rate of knots. Didn't get penalty tried from a Welsh perspective, which is good, but they managed to, just get pushed over the line, and Visa will never score a simpler one. But no yellow card, no penalty try is a positive from Wales. But yeah, I mean, Ethan Hooker could have had a second in the build-up, but there was a forward pass, which resulted in the scrum because they'd been in an offside. And Wales were pinged for being offside quite a lot in this game. But yeah, dominant forward pack from South Africa gets Jasper Visa a try. And then, interestingly, it took like 34 minutes, but we did see after South Africa conceded a penalty, we saw a Wales attacking line-out chance in South Africa's half. There'd been very little of that, and they overthrew the line-out. They did manage to retain the ball, but it was like, what, 2 phases before South Africa won a penalty at the breakdown? Wales just had nothing going in the first half, and then Moody did get another line break from his own half, which set off South Africa attacking one more time. Wales going offside again. They got yellow card warned for it, which had been coming, and we do see South African pressure finished off by Morne van der Berg, close just to kind of dot down. So 28-0 at halftime. And it's been a squeeze, man. Like, the territory is 74-26. The possession is 63-37, obviously in South Africa's favour. The run meters is 241 to 44. 44! Is that the lowest I've ever seen? It's right up there. Or right down there. Canan and Moody had 42 metres in that first half. Wales as a team had 44. It's bonkers. Their only way to go forward was box kicking. And even then, if you knock it on, you lead to a scrum. Scrum's going to get you pinged. So, clean breaks, 5-zip. Wales have made over 100 tackles or attempted over 100 in that first half. Like, South Africa's only had 20-odd. So, yeah, it's been as dominant a first half as you'll ever see. You could say only 4 tries. Especially the way the second half goes. Second half becomes very... I mean... Wales get a couple of yellow cards. Regular service resumes in that second half. South Africa camped in Wales's territory. Doesn't help that Taine Plumtree at a tackle, it's totally accidental. Like, swinging arm hits his own guy, Wainwright, in the eye. So Wainwright has to go off for some treatment. Didn't look very pretty. Poking your mate in the eye, but totally accidental. Just one of those things that sometimes happens, but it goes kind of bad to worse from Wales when you got one of your own guys poking your other guy in the eye. And from a penalty, South Africa go for touch, 5 metres, close range phases, and then Wilco Low gets a try. Plus, another offside means Plumtree, who's just poked his mate in the eye, gets yellow carded, and he's had a few yellow cards in his time for Wales. He had one there last week. 35 points to 0 for South Africa. 14-man Wales go under relentless pressure from South Africa, conceding another penalty for not rolling. And then Sasha, who's got that kind of game awareness, quick tap before anyone can get ready for him. He goes over for his first of 2 tries, 42 points to 0. And then on 48 minutes, just when you think Wales might do something, like Kieran Hardy had a quick tap from a Welsh penalty, trying to emulate Sasha, I guess, in South Africa's half. They got the ball wide, but when it goes loose, and again, it's an error. Wales didn't have that many chances to make errors, but the South Africans punish it. Caden Moody's got some heck of football skills, multiple kicks from him. Goes over for a try. Wasn't the cleanest grounding, but the TMO gives it, I think rightly so. 49 points to 0. Esterhuizen gets one, punishing turnover ball again, and that one gets worse as Wainwright gets yellow carded for a high shot on Feinberg-Mngomezulu, just kind of shoulder to the head. It did look like the typical review it, and then yellow card remains yellow card incident for mine, so 54-0. Wales did have a 12-phase attack. The Boks had to defend multiple phases for probably the first time in the entire game. Blair Murray was getting a bit of footwork going, but another penalty conceded. I think Andre Esterhuizen from a Wales tap just won a penalty at the breakdown. Like, he was almost better as a flanker than he is as a bloody midfielder, this one. Crazy. South Africa on the other end, loose ball, sends Sasha over. It's a second try for him. Norke gets driven over for one after some phases again. It's another Sasha tap in the build-up, so like 66-0. There's another moment where Sasha misses touch and the Boks can still turn it into gold, where they still win a penalty at the breakdown. Like, I think it's the first phase after Sasha missed the touch. Wales just got caught with the ball, not releasing. Then there's an Ebenezabeth try. There's a Welsh scrum in the build-up. That was 73-0, man. 73-0. Crazy stuff. I mean, the game wasn't done. Ellis had maybe the closest moment of the game for Wales, where he had some footballing skills to try and keep it in field, but couldn't quite get the ball over the goal line. And then there's a bit of handbags just before full time, which is going to put a bit of a spoiler on the game, because when Mann and Eben are going at each other, Eben's thumb into the eye. Alex Mann. That's just dumb. just dumb. Just keep your fingers, your digits away from people's eyes, man. That's really dumb from a guy of Evans' experience. But, yeah, he'll get banned. He'll get banned. That one's a pretty hard one to defend. Like, I defended the Mostert one because that one was crazy. The other ones were at least, like, Lutz one was at least a rugby incident, even if it wasn't pretty. But Evans' one is, he's going to get a ban. Maybe he just doesn't want to go play club rugby. He wants a bit of a holiday. Go back to South Africa and have a few weeks off. I say that in jest. Yeah. Wales had a 5-metre maul at death, but couldn't get any points from it at all. So 73 points to 0. Like 11 tries, 9 conversions. The goal kicking was pretty solid today, man. Not quite 100%, but right up there. Line breaks, 12-1. The position and territory did even out a little bit. Wales had a bit more in the second, but I think a lot of that's... The Boks were just... The game was just restarting over and over again, so that kind of gives a false impression. Penalty count was 16-9 against Wales. A lot of those at scrum time. 190 tackles Wales had to make to 93. I'm surprised the Boks had to make 93. 8 turnovers won by the Boks to 3. They still cough up a bit of ball, the Boks. 18 in this game. They still cough up ball. There's more points left out there. Yeah, 14 by Wales. Obviously too high when they had less ball. Individuals. Esterhuizen, man of the match, wins 3 turnovers. Mann did have another 23 tackles. He is industrious in his defensive shifts. Moody, 4 line breaks. Visa, 13 carries. Sasha, 5 defenders beaten. Blair Murray did have 4 defenders beaten. So there you go, folks. Big old win by the Boks. Unfortunately, a little bit of a dampener on the end with the red card. But that's a pretty good way for them to end the season. Their Northern Tour has gone pretty perfectly well. Now, as I mentioned in the preview, it's the first game of rugby I've watched since my dad passed away the other day. So it is a weird feeling because he probably wouldn't have got up to watch this one live. Maybe if he was up, he would have watched it. But it was on at 4 in the morning. So he definitely would have sent me a message throughout the day at some point. And I'm trying to imagine, like, what would my dad have said? Like, I'm really going to miss these messages between me and my dad, phone calls and chats about rugby after the games. I reckon he would have said that, boy, that South Africa team's pretty good, aren't they? And he would have said, oh, it's going to be tough going over there next year. He asked me, do you reckon we'll win a game? And I probably would have said, oh, maybe we can sneak one. Because we're playing 4 times. And he would have said, yeah, oh, it's going to be tough. And then he would have said, I would have liked Wales to get a try. Because he wouldn't want anyone to be nilled. So, and he probably would have said, well, what was Eben doing? He knows better than that, but he's fiery. Something like that. Anyway. Miss chatting rugby with my dad. Take care, folks. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.